Hi, Jan Hoffmann hier von nStuff. Wir befinden uns heute bei Carvin Guitars in San Diego in Kalifornien, wo alle Gitarren von Carvin und auch neuerdings wieder unter dem Namen Kiesel Guitars hergestellt werden. Netterweise wird uns Jeff Kiesel mal durch die Firma führen und so zeigen, wie hier alles gemacht wird. Wird sicherlich eine interessante Geschichte.
When someone calls to order something, we're going to pull a neck blank off the wall here. So here's a 5-piece maple and walnut neck blank. Here's maple and white limba, limba and maple, black limba and maple. All kinds of combinations you can see here, from mahogany, walnut, koa, flame maple. And so what we do is these necks all go through about a 3-week conditioning process. And what that does is it stress relieves the neck. So even after the wood's been kiln dried, after it's been laminated or even single piece, they all go through and get conditioned. And it does a few things. It removes any glue from the multi-lam necks and it stabilizes the neck. So as a musician, when you're playing shows and your climate's changing, the necks are more stable. So what we'll do is we'll grab the neck off the wall. It'll come over here. Right now we're running fingerboards.
Okay.
And we run each fingerboard one at a time. So that's doing an ebony fingerboard. You can see it cutting the slots for the frets. And we have multiple scale lengths. We have, 6, 7, and 8 string, 4, 5, and 6 string for basses. And so this machine will cut one at a time. Once the fingerboard's done, it'll be paired up with a neck. So like right here, you got a neck. This one has the carbon fiber rods in it. All of our extended scale guitars and all of our basses have carbon fiber rods, like such. And so this one here has been machined on the top side. The slots have been machined in. We've glued our carbon fiber reinforcement rods in there. And then they're gonna load it to ball in profile the back of the neck. So this is before, and it'll end up something like this after, before the fingerboard's glued on. And if you feel that, there's just slight machining scratches.
Yeah.
So the machine puts the little scratches in there and then our sanders remove those. So all of these necks are machine made, which is very important to have the consistency. Every time an instrument's ordered, they're repeatable, they're identical. I'll show you our truss rod system and our carbon fiber reinforcement rod.
And that's the way it works for the normal Carvin guitars or also for the custom shop stuff?
Everything's the same, identical. Doesn't matter if it's Carvin, Kiesel, it doesn't matter. Here's our carbon fiber rods, and they go in this way in the neck. So if you take on, you can't bend it, you can't break it. I mean, you try, you're a stronger guy than I am.
I don't know. Okay.
So you can see how strong those are, and they're expensive. We put those in every single bass standard. You don't have to order this. Every single 27-inch scale guitar, so 6, 7, and 8. And then our regular line, we feel it doesn't need it because of this truss rod system we have is so strong. The same thing here. So you have a truss rod. This goes in all of our guitars and basses. It's 2-way, so you can turn it to add forward bow or turn it the opposite way to add back relief. And the same thing, I mean, you could try to bend this guy and it is very strong.
But do you recognize the sound difference between the instruments with carbon rods and without?
No.
Okay.
No, yeah, there's no sound difference. It's only to keep the stability so the neck's not moving around. So once we have our neck done and our fingerboard, we glue everything up in these clamps. So you can see these, there's about 4 necks right here that are being glued up. Just getting prepping these ones here. This one has zebra wood with black block inlays going into a bass neck. And once we glue the fingerboard on, we're going to radius it over here and press frets in. So we'll grab a tool like this, and what this is it's a radiusing block. And so we'll take the fingerboard, we'll set the block down here, and we'll take the neck, fingerboard side down, and we'll sand the neck, the fingerboard surface, and they'll actually make lines on the top side of the neck so that they remove an even amount of material from the fingerboard. We do that before we press our frets in.
Okay.
A lot of companies will press their frets in and they'll use what's called a Blick machine. A Blick machine takes a crooked neck and removes material off the frets. You don't want a Blick machine. We make the surface level and true, then we press our frets in.
Okay.
And what that allows is the customer will have full thickness of frets. They're not machined down. And you know, you machine them down, they wear out faster.
Yeah.
Every fret is pushed in one at a time. This is a 20-inch radius tool. We offer 10, 12, and 14-inch radius as well. So we'll take a neck in the morning and we'll put them here, pushing the frets in one at a time, pulling frets out of our drawer here, whether it's stainless steel, EVO alloy frets, or the standard nickel. And we have various sizes. We have our vintage size, we have a standard, we have a jumbo wide, and we have a low wide also. So we offer a lot of options on frets, fretboards, neck options. So once that's done, the instruments will come over here and they'll get body sides glued on. So what happens is they glue it all up, and then in the morning they come in and they start working on it. So it's the end of the day. So these guys are working on a CNC machine now. So here's one that's been ran on the CNC. Here's the same model before, and here's it after. So you can see it, just a basic bandsaw cut, and then you run it through the machine, and you see all the beveling, the pickups. We even get right in there and we actually drill our pickup mounting screws. So the pickups are perfect. Everything gets drilled by the machine. The machine is accurate within 1/10,000th of an inch. You pull your hair out, split it 4 ways down the center. That's how accurate the machine is. You guys can watch this being ran right here. And so right now we have 4 of these machines going all day long, trying to keep up with the demand.
Okay, so how many instruments can you produce roundabout in a day or a month?
It all depends on the complexity of the instrument. Some instruments take a lot longer, but we put out between 4,000 and 5,000 instruments a year.
Okay.
And so we are a true custom shop. Every single order is built to order. So the customer goes in and picks their woods, fingerboard, frets, their color of their paint job, what type of pickup options they want. You know, we have a lot of shapes we offer, and so we don't build random guitars. We don't build extras. So this guitar right here is for a customer. He ordered it that way. So now it's going to do the shaping of the outside perimeter. I hear the comments all the time, people want a handmade guitar, and you really don't want a handmade guitar. All of our guitars start out as handmade, so the first design, either myself or my dad handmade the first one, got it perfect, and then we copied it with the machine. And the machine is accurate within 1/10,000th of an inch. So it's this model that we took weeks of our time to make perfect, and then we're copying it. So you just don't get that. I mean, even a boutique guy can't do that. Carving out for the electronics.
And I guess there's still a lot of handwork in the
yeah.
sanding and stuff like that.
Everything is finished by hand. So it's machine made as far as the carving out and hand finished. So the attention to detail is there. You know, whether it's the paint department, the hand sanding, all of the different stages in between is all done by hand. Okay. So we'll go ahead and move over to hand sanding. And these guys are here doing one job all day long. Rob's been with us for about 30 years, and he's working on this guitar here. This has a flame top, zebra wood board, flame headstock. Looks like it's one of our extended range guitars, passive pickups. And it's very popular for us. We're selling a lot of these. We have a lot of long-time employees, and that's very important because the consistency, the knowledge, and the quality gets better with time. And we've been doing this for almost 70 years. So what we do is really special. You can see JD here. JD's been with us for about 15 years. And attention to detail, he's taking a look at it and he's removing little burrs with the razor blade so he can then use fine grit sandpaper and get that neck perfect. And you just go on down the line and everybody's doing very hand detailed work. He's using a Q-tip over here to apply a super glue to our spalted maple tops. Spalted maple has a fungus and it's dying, so there's a lot of soft spots. So we have to go through and coat the whole entire wood surface with super glue to harden the wood so it doesn't break apart over time. It's beautiful but very hard to work with, and you don't get a fit and finish like this without years of experience. So after the sanding stages, it'll go over to get primer put on, then paint, and we'll go over to that department. That's an area we don't take anybody through because of contamination, of course. Here's our fret dressing department. So once an instrument's painted, it'll get fret dressed. And these guys spend about 40 to 50 minutes on every single instrument, getting the frets perfect. So, you know, the instrument's comfortable and plays right. You know, and you can really do a lot of damage with fret work if you don't know what you're doing. These guys are all trained experts. This is all they do all day long is fret work. That's it. We're not having one guy that's bouncing around from department to department. We have 4 fret dressers, and he's using a rocking system right now, and he's checking the frets, and he's trying to rock it back and forth to make sure the frets aren't moving. So he's getting everything just right. Here's some guitars that are waiting for the finished department. So these would have come out of hand sanding. So these are out of hand sanding now. They're getting ready, they're getting prepped. So we're taping off fingerboards, taping edges for special paint jobs, and masking off the necks for tongue-oiled necks, and just really, you know, prepping for the next day. And so these guys are finishing up the previous day's work already. You can see some work in progress that's kind of hanging here. And once that's on, we can't go in, but you can see all the instruments through there that have been primed. So those were primed in the morning, this morning. And then those will be sanded and painted tomorrow. Okay. So the ones that were primed yesterday are being painted today. And you know, this finished department is just constantly, you have to stay ahead of it because you're working on things for the next day, not necessarily for today. And once they're out of the finished department and they've been clear coated, we wait 2 days and then we color sand and buff. So you can see something like this. They're in the middle of color sanding and buffing it, but you can see how the mirror image finishes there. And it's really important, you know, we want to put out not only a product that plays great, it has to look good too. And so they'll start out and they'll remove the sanding scratches with that wheel. That wheel removes those scratches. That one removes those scratches, and that's the final one. Okay. So you have to do every instrument 4 times. So it's critical that you're doing it 4 times, you're getting it right, because you're removing the previous station's scratches. Like this one, it's smooth, but it's not really shiny because it hasn't gone through the final polish. And so while you're working on these, if you're not careful, off they go through the wall, and it happens from time to time. Not too often, it's pretty rare, but yeah, it still needs one more. And so these guys all day long are polished. Our basses will go down this lane here, and then our guitars will go down this lane. We'll put hardware on over there, you know, the basic strap buttons and the ferrules on the back. We have our own private label locking tuner. So this is our tuner, and it's a 20-to-1 ratio, and you have a locking feature, so you put your string through, lock it down, and then you don't have to wind the string a whole bunch of times and have slippage. So This is standard on all of our neck-through instruments. Our bolt neck instruments, most of them are standard as well. And we have some of the guitars from NAMM sitting here waiting to be final cleaned and go off to where they're going. Here was a special Kiesel edition, one that I ended up building, with the matching top and back, one-piece quilt top, one-piece quilt back, and a special 5-piece flame maple neck that I did some special treatments on, and the colored bird's eye maple board. And we've been just really stepping it up with our custom shop. Here's Lee McKinney from Born of Osiris, his signature model, 6-string, trans white finish with the special inlay in the fingerboard. I don't know if you guys are into blue, but the blue denim, you got the fade starting from the top and going all the way to the bottom, and then the colored board, of course. We've just been working real hard, coming out with new models. Here's our Vader headless series, and we offer this in a 6, 7, and this is an 8-string here. And in the 6 and 7, we offer both 27-inch and 25.5-inch scale. The 8 is only a 27-inch scale. But even this guitar is under 6 pounds, and it's an 8-string. It's pretty amazing. We actually won Best in Show at NAMM. From Revolver magazine, gave us Best in Show at the NAMM show. And we've been selling a lot of these. It's been a real popular model for us in a short period of time. So what they'll do here is they'll put all the hardware in as far as the electronics and circuit cards if they get active. Like this is our active system here. Has a push-pull to change the tone of the pickups. Check this one out. This is beautiful. So a lot of guitars will look good on the front, but check out the back of this one with the flame maple neck. I mean, that's just pretty amazing. Love it. Sometimes it's hard, we're getting guitars finished and I want to take them home. They look nice, but my dad always pulls me back. Nah, we gotta get them out. So Jim's doing all of our final setup on our guitars. He does every single guitar that comes through here. And Jim's been with us, what is it now, 17 years? 17 years Jim's been with us for, working on a carved top here. And it depends on the model. Some models will take him 25 minutes to do full setup on, and everything's perfect. So he's checking, and it's a process. You have to tune it, then you got to intonate it, then you got to, raise and lower the action, then you got to retune it. And so it's a constant balance to get it just right, and that's what we do here. We don't put out a lot of guitars, we put out quality, and that's what it's really about. Once he's done, it'll go over to our head tech, who's multitasking right now. He's packing guitars, answering questions over the phone, getting everything ready for today's shipment to go out. Absolutely. These guitars here are all done, and they're getting clean. So we clean them up, they're cleaning them here, and you can see as they're cleaning them, they're using Q-tips, they're doing everything, getting into all the little nooks and crannies to make sure the instrument's clean and flawless and, presentable to the customer. Once she's done, Albert will give it a final, our head tech Albert will give it a final once over, making sure everything's perfect, the setup is great. He'll pack it, and off it goes. And we do this all day long, every day, and it's what we love to do. It's a good time. So it's me and my dad. We're here every day, all day.
Okay.
So it's pretty cool. But I don't know if you want to see some extra guitars or what you guys, if you want to see more stuff. We have our in-stock room here. So these are guitars that are either online or are going to be online, and they've never been played. Like something like this. It's a single cut bevel, a Kiesel model. My daughter saw this, she's 13. She's like, "Dad, I want that." And I'm like, "Well,
that's the right age to start with a 7-string."
Yeah, and so she did. I brought her home a 7-string. She plays 6-string. She's got a pink one like this, but a 6. And so she wanted me to take this home. I said, "You learn how to play the 7 real good, and I'll bring this home for you." So I gotta, I'm trying to remind her that this is a, $2,200 guitar, So anyway, we build all kinds of guitars. Our carved top's a real popular model. We sell a lot of these. This has a special piezo system in the bridge, And so with the toggle switch, you can go between your piezo, both, or magnetic only. You have a volume, a tone, and then a volume for your piezo, and either a 3 or a 5-way switch depending on what the customer wants.
And you're doing all the electronics by yourself? Or
Yes.
They are
Yeah, we do everything here.
made?
Yes,
So
everything's made
just
here.
because you're not happy with what the other companies
It's
offer?
not that. We can keep our costs down by doing it ourselves.
Yeah.
So, and then we have better control over it, and we can, build everything perfect the way we want.
Okay. And as you told me, you will be selling direct to Germany.
Yes. That's a big thing
From
for
April
us. Yeah, we actually are selling direct to all of Europe and a lot of the world effective now. It was actually effective February 1st when the split between the companies happened. Our website will be unblocked to where the people overseas can see our website April 1st. But now if they want to order, sales@kieselguitars.com, and they can ask questions. If they can call in, they can even call our 858 Guitars number and talk to one of our guys, and we'll write quotes or we'll sell them a guitar.
Okay, but will ship wise or something like that change stuff from April on?
No, we can still ship right to right to any of our customers overseas is not a problem.
Okay.
So, and they get the same U.S. price that the customer pays. They have to pay more in shipping, and they're responsible for their own VAT taxes and any duties, of course. But the price is the same as the U.S. customer. Same specials and promotions, that doesn't change. The shipping, it depends on where it's going. It can be anywhere from $150 to $250. So it all depends on where it's going.
Okay, and then you have some service program when there might be issues?
We don't have a dealer network servicing the instruments. So that is the only drawback to not having a dealer. But the good side is the product is going to be far less expensive. Some of the dealers we were told were charging, for a guitar we would charge $1,000, they were charging $2,500. So now you buy the guitar for $1,000, let's say it has a couple issues in a year or two. Yeah, we can't warranty it, but you can have a local luthier take care of it for a very small price. So the price is a lot more attractive to purchasing direct from us. And if the customer wants to send it back to us, we'll fix it. We just won't pay shipping either direction. So there is a warranty, they just have to get it back to us.
Okay. Yeah.
It's kind of hard, but we just, my grandfather, when he started this company, he wanted to have a company that had a very affordable product to the musician. And that's what I want to bring back. Part of this move and change is we went through and we lowered some prices. Me and my dad actually did lower some prices, and we want to make sure we're offering an extreme amount of value. And I think we do. I really do. I think Grandpa would be proud. And bringing the good old Kiesel name back too. I think he would be excited about that.
Can you explain a little bit about why you separated the guitars in two branches?
Yeah. Well, they're not really, the guitars aren't two branches. What we did was there were 5 of us that owned all of Carvin, so amps, audio, and instruments. Me and my dad owned one half, and my uncle and his 2 kids owned the other half. We split, so they own Carvin audio and Carvin amplifiers. They can't make instruments. We can't make amps or audio. We own, me and my dad own, Carvin Guitars. And to pay a tribute to my grandpa, the original company name was Kiesel, with this same Kiesel logo. So we brought the Kiesel name back when we had an opportunity to leave. So our business name is Kiesel Guitars or Carvin Guitars. It's both. And our brands are Kiesel and Carvin. So we just wanted to get the Kiesel logo.
Yeah, but is it the way that the Carvin guitars are like the standard models and the Kiesel guitar are the custom shop, or is just
No,
what you
both
order?
are custom shop. Totally. The Kiesel line, we can do more customization beyond the Carvin one. And the Carvin line, we can fully customize fret wire, radius, types of fretboards, paint jobs, all kinds of crazy things. But when a customer wants something that's really over the top, that's when the Kiesel line comes in. And I do a lot of the customization myself. So my time is limited. So, we do have to charge, a little more. For the Kiesel custom shop when they go beyond the normal Carvin Guitars custom shop.
Yeah. Yeah, and can you give a little, say, like little hints what will be the plans in the future for Carvin and Kiesel, or is it just to go the way that you started?
You know, we're always going to be changing things up and being very dynamic. I mean, we've just made some major changes with the company split. A lot of the new models, the new options, the new features, new finishes. We've just added a tremendous amount to our custom shop, and we're going to keep doing that. You know, we're going to keep pushing the envelope, and if there's a need there and there's, you know, a desire for musicians, and it looks like something we can do, we're going to do it. So, you know, there's a lot of projects I have that I want to do, and it's just in due time. You know, it takes time, and you got to make sure they're right. It's like the Vader headless. I've been wanting to work on a headless design for about 2 years, and it took me about a year to get that design done, but we won Best in Show at NAMM. Yeah. So we don't rush anything. We spend time. Me and my dad do all the engineering. We don't have any, there's no engineers, there's no designers here. It's just me and him. And when we get a model done, I hand make the first one, and then we copy it. We literally take and program it into our CNC machine so that they're repeatable and they're consistent to what I spent tons of hours on. So that's how we do it.